Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come in, come in, come in. This is Tamika Zen. I am Tamika, and this is the Shy, y'all. Okay, we are at season 5, episode 4 on me. Now, you guys, I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. At this point, I'm just kind of like, okay, I started this, so I'm gonna finish it, but the Shy's not really giving me much, y'all. Okay. Now, seasons 1 and 2, I was here for it. I loved it. I was caught up. I was like, okay, I'm here for the Shy. 3 and 4, we started slowly slipping away and going into all different kind of stories that I just felt like, where's this going? Now we back at 5, and we seeing some of the old characters coming back. We're seeing old loves reconnecting, and I was trying to give it a chance. I felt like, maybe it started out on a little bit of an interesting, start. The last episode, I was like, okay, that was cute. That kind of felt like a filler episode and a feel good episode, with it being, the families and the holidays and all of that kind of stuff. But outside of that, y'all, it's not really giving much. So just want to put that out there. That's my honest opinion. But, we started out this episode, just basically seeing how everybody was starting their day, right? We had Maisha giving herself positive affirmations. Okay, I was here for that girl because I do the same. And I definitely try to promote and advocate for us, having positive vibes and teaching ourselves positive affirmations. So love it, love it, love it. And I love Maisha, okay? Then we had Lene sitting on the bed looking all sad and pitiful and down because of the situation with her brother. We were seeing Keisha feeding the baby. We were seeing Gemma getting out the shower. And to be honest, I didn't even know who the heck she was at first. It took me a minute to be like, who the heck is this? They bringing in a new character or something. And then I'm like, oh no, that's just Gemma with some box braids, okay? And then we had Gemma also sitting around getting ready and smoking, all right? And we had, Kevin basically banging at the door because he's worried about Lene. So she has her headphones on, probably don't really hear the door. Maybe you could probably hear it a little bit, but she actually looks up at the door and you could literally see it moving because of her. Kevin is banging on it, basically trying to check on her, whatever the case may be, right? And at the same time, we seeing Miss Rosalind getting ready. So, of course, we know she's back in the picture. And then when she gets herself together and she's going out the door, we see that she got a lady laying up in the bed, So obviously, which we always knew, that her and Zuda just pretty much do their own things. And their marriage seems like it's more about, a business. Like they are living their own lives. And so, when Gemma does finally come outside to get in the car with her dad, it's like she's giving him attitude. And I'm like, okay, girl, what the heck is all of that about? He's complaining that he had to wait for her for so long and that she knows she has this test to take. But now all of a sudden her attitude is like she don't care about the test. She don't care if she's on time for the test. So I'm like, well, what's going on with you, Gemma? What is with this attitude, right? And then her father's telling her, like, it's no smoking weed in the house either. If you want to smoke, then you need to take your behind outside. And she talking about well, it's cold outside. And he was like, well, then that's your problem, okay? You're going to have to figure that one out. That sounds like a you problem, not a me problem, okay? And so then she kind of had an attitude about that and was like, can we just go? And he was like, girl, I ain't your damn Uber driver. So I was like, oops, okay. And then we get freaking Jada and Darnell in the bed, y'all. So Jada and Darnell in the bed, they looking like, they just finished getting it in or whatever, like, ooh-ha, and all out of breath and all of that, and work up an appetite. And she was like, why don't we go have some brunch, right? And he was like, no, why don't I go in the kitchen, okay, and go ahead and whip you up something, and then we just lay back and we watch TV and, we chill the rest of the day type of vibe, right? No shocker here that's what Darnell would want to do. And so she basically was like, nah. She was like, we not going to start this off like that. And she was telling him, she's not going to be treated like she was treated back in high school. She done grew since then. She's not that same person. And he's basically trying to tell her, like, oh, you sound like you've been listening to, I guess like people on social media and friends and whoever else, like this don't sound like something that she would say, because God forbid that an actual grown ass woman would be able to actually tell you what she wants. That she had to be telling him things that she's been hearing from other people and that type of thing. And so she was like, no, we're not going to start this off like this. But my whole thing, Jada, is you did start it off like that. That's your fault. You knew what you was getting with Darnell. This whole time that he been sitting here sending you, you know what I'm saying, dick pics and little funny texts and saying funny things. You've been hee, ha ha, and all of that with him. At the end of the day, he's not going to think that you want anything else, because you never put it to him all this time that you wanted anything else. And now after you already did it and you laid up with him, now you want to give him the ground rules, when those ground rules should have been given all before. You wasn't seeing no difference in him then. He wasn't coming to you talking about, let me take you out on a date then. So I just felt like they have written this stuff with Jada and Darnell so backwards, it's not funny. I'm sorry, but they have. Just the fact that she would even hurry up and just jump back into him just like that and dump Suede, and now it's almost like you want him to turn into Suede when you know that that's not the way that he's been behaving all this time, does not make sense to me. What you're saying is 100% correct. I agree with it, but I feel like that was supposed to be said a long time ago. So nonetheless, she telling him about, she's going to be treated like a queen. She's going to be treated with her worth and all of that kind of stuff, right? And he's like telling her, come on now. She was even saying that they might have to chill on the sex for a minute until he could step his game up. So he going to talk about we too old to be, going on dates. And she was like, who's old? And he was, who you calling old? And he was saying the both of them. And it's like, speak for your damn self, okay? And so she was like, man, you about to be out of a job before you could even get in it. And he was saying, that she may make him put in his 2 weeks notice. And she was like, when have you ever put in for a 2-week notice? And they, both kind of laughed about that part. But at the end of the day, like I said, I guess it's supposed to be better late than never. I am glad she spoke up. I'm glad she got up and put her robe on and went, to walk out. Like, listen, you better know my worth because I know it. And I just wish that conversation would have came first. That's the only critique that I have with that. So then she left. We see that they're at Trinity House. Tracy's over here watering the plants, and we seeing that they have like this gold necklace that says Trinity around the plants. I don't know why the heck y'all have that, but okay, And so Trig, well, Victor, I got to get used to calling him that, is bringing his mom there. Apparently she's going to be coming there to stay. He's giving her the keys. She's looking around the place like, this is it, huh? And, just looking at the room, kind of like, oh boy, they both looking sad and depressed or whatever. And Tracy tells her, like, this place has been a big help to many women. They have job placement, they have meetings, they have a lot of things that could be beneficial to her, that could help her out and things of that nature. And so then she goes into the room when Tracy says, she's just going to give them some time to themselves. And she basically looks at that same bracelet that I was just talking about for a minute. But when she turns around and sees Trig face looking worried, that's when she starts to tell him, like, don't worry. And she wants things to be different this time and want to make a change and all of this. And he says, me too. And I really do hope that his mom changed. But I want it because I don't want to see him and Jake hurt. I really, really don't. But I don't believe it. I believe it's some scams going on. I believe that Duda has brought her back into the fold, because it's too much a coincidence that she showed up the same time right after him, just in time for Trig to run for councilman. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope she do make a change. And the one thing that I am glad about is that she is staying there instead of staying in the house with him. But I still don't trust her until she give me reason to. So we going to be keeping an eye on Miss Peaches, okay? Moving on from that, we have them sitting in the classroom taking the test, and Maisha's looking all into it. Maisha's getting into her groove, baby, okay? Whereas Gemma is the complete opposite. She's staring at the statue. She's staring at the window. She's staring at the ceiling. She's staring at the floor. She's staring everything but her damn test paper, okay? I don't see her with no pencil up doing nothing. She making all the different kinds of weird faces. Everybody else is looking down at their desk busy writing. So, again, what is going on with you, Miss Gemma, okay? she gets up in the middle of the test while Maisha, I think, was raising her hand to say, that she was almost finished with the test, or she was finished with the test, and she sees Gemma go walking out. So I'm like, what's happening with Gemma? So we have, Mr. Victor come downstairs or whatever, and he sees that Tracy is giving, his little fake girlfriend a tour and telling her about the background of, Trinity House. And she's like, how come she never heard of it before? And they should be putting out more publicity and things of that nature. Should be more people involved. Then she starts talking about Rosalind and, Tracy hurry up and turn away from her as soon as she brought her name up. And she's basically saying how her and Trig should go ahead outside and take a picture in front of the house. And so she, Tracy at first was like, well, we don't usually even, take pictures. And Trig was basically agreeing. Well, Victor was basically agreeing, saying, yeah, we want people to feel like this is a place that they could come to and this and that. But she was like, I really do feel like this could help your campaign and this could help Trinity House at the same time. And so when she started saying that, Tracy was like, well, sometimes you do have to do things that you don't want to do to be able to accomplish what you want to accomplish. And Duda talking about something, I know that's right. And he basically comes in supposedly telling her that he's bringing her some daggone lunch. I said, yeah, okay, girl. And she all, cheesing from ear to ear. So in the meantime, Keisha, at one point they were showing that, she was studying and everything in her room, and she started going through the motions, okay, because she's in there all day, she's studying, she's feeding the baby, she's putting the baby down for a nap. She at one point took a nap herself too. She's basically, cleaning him up and all of that kind of stuff, right, straightening up around the room. And I guess she started getting overwhelmed and was trying to reach out to see if she could get some type of help. At one point she even basically just yells out, right? And I was wondering how that was going to play, how she was going to be able to, function out on her own, and then being a full-time, mom at the same time too, single mother on your own. Whereas if she would have still been in the house and using her mom and them help, she probably could have been like, oh, can you hold the baby? But I get it that she wants to do it by herself, and I also know what that feels like when you're going to school, working or whatever, and you're having that baby by yourself. And so she just had one of those moments where she was about to burn completely out, and Emmett had told her that, he got her basically that he could watch Ronnie. So she had ended up going over there with Ronnie so that Emmett could watch him and she could go ahead and focus on her paper. So I was like, here we go, right? And he was like, don't worry about nothing. We got him. And you see even his son come and give her a hug and stuff like that. So she was able to start just focusing on her paper. And as she turns and, looks at him with her son, she just had this smile on her face. Like, you know what I mean? Oh, he holding me down and he got the baby and I could go ahead and do my paper. All right. And so then we had Duda, setting up stuff for them to have lunch. And Tracy basically could sense that it was something else going on. She was like, what's happening? And so he tells her to have a seat. And of course, when she has a seat, he starts talking about some Rosalind want to help. And she like, oh, what do she want to help? What does that mean? Or whatever the case may be, right? We don't need too many cooks in the kitchen, baby. All right. That's what my grandmother used to say too. And so he was saying that Rosalind can run Trinity House and she could be more so focused on the people. He was like, she's good with stuff like this. She's ran foundations before. She knows how to get in the money that we need. And he started talking about how he don't want to stay underneath Quentin's thumb and be getting money from him, and how she says she don't want to be getting blood money. So this could basically kill two birds with one stone, according to him. She basically was like, and what if I say no? And he was like, then you get fired. And she was like, how the hell you gonna fire me? And he was like, because at this point is about what's, best for the organization, best to get Trig in and all this other stuff, right? They gotta look at the bigger picture. So I said, Tracy, good for you. I don't feel bad for you, not one damn bit, because the fact that you even trusted Duda for a second, girl, other than to get your thing off and call it a damn day, you the damn fool, and you deserve what you get at this point. I'm sorry, okay? And so we'll be keeping an eye to see what happens with that, right? Right now, she ain't got no damn choice. Like, you thought he was telling Trig everything was going to go away if he said no, and it wasn't going to happen to you too, girl. So, to you two, I should say. So then we have Maisha coming in the bathroom checking on Gemma, like, did you even finish your test? And Gemma talking about some no. And Maisha basically was like, the privilege, okay? I don't have that choice to be like, I'm not going to do this damn test. I have to do it. You know, my mother would kick my behind. And she's basically like, she would. And she was like, yeah. So then she started asking her, like, well, why you want to take the test? And what do you hope to accomplish? What do you want to do with your life? Those type of questions, you know, that's what Gemma's asking Maisha. And she's basically like, get a good job. Get out of my, you know what I'm saying, mother house. And I have to have her, you know, worried about taking care of me and be able to hold my own because she have so many other, you know what I'm saying, mouths to feed. And she done, you know, basically invested all this stuff in me, and the least I could do is make her proud and that type of thing. And I found it interesting because it seemed like Gemma and Maisha is kind of bonding a little bit. And, you know, before we know that Gemma was not Maisha's favorite person. She's still not my favorite person. And Maisha did not, you know what I'm saying, hesitate or hold back to check her when need be. But, you know, she's there talking to her. And she was like, well, outside of that, what else would you want to do? And she was like, probably rapping. So Gemma was like, oh, yeah, I have heard you rapping before. I heard you on Papa's podcast and you're good and all of that kind of stuff. And you need to do that. And so she was like, yeah, maybe I will. You know, I forgot whether she said Wednesday or someday or whatever. And she was like, no, say you are going to do it and say, you know what I'm saying, you're going to get right to it. So she was like, you're right. I am going to do it. And so that was cute that she was giving her that little encouragement and telling her that she's good, which she is. Okay, she's very good. And so then we have, you know, Lene and Kevin finally talking. And while they're talking, you know, we hear Dre say, Lene, can you come downstairs for a minute? Well, before even that, Maisha did ask Gemma, does she want to go get something to eat? And she tells her, yeah. And so when they do go downstairs, you know, because, you know, Kevin is feeling bad. He basically was telling Lene, like, you know, if any way I could help you, I'm going to try to help you. And he was saying how hard it was for him when Keisha got taken. And she was like, yeah, but she's back now. You got her. My brother could possibly be going to jail for life. So, you know, it's not the same exact situation, but he just was trying to let her know that things would find, you know, probably work out at the end, even though it's tough, and that he can relate into it being tough because of what he went through. And so then they get told to come downstairs because she's like, somebody is there for Lene. And of course we see that it's child services, and they're basically saying because, you know what I'm saying, of her brother getting locked up, both the parents being deceased, she does not have any legal guardian right now. And so therefore, if she don't, you know what I'm saying, potentially stay with somebody, then she could end up being a ward of the state. And we know that's not a good thing. You know, we see Victor out here trying to ask people about, you know, what they want, what they looking for and things like that, right? And they basically are, everybody's closing the daggone door in their face, you know. And, you know, some of them don't understand English or whatever. And they trying to, you know, translate or show them the other side that have the Spanish on it so that they could kind of communicate with them. Some people are saying that they are glad that, you know, the police is gone, but they're mentioning other things that they need help with or whatever the case may be. You know, the few that would talk to them. And they're trying to tell all of them to come down to the Trinity house. One lady was saying she don't have a babysitter. And he was like, that's fine. We got babysitters there. She was like, yeah, I got food too. And he was like, yeah, we getting food from Smokey. She was like, oh, I love Smokey. So, you know, even though they was getting a lot of doors shut in their face, they was getting some positive people too that was willing to talk, willing to tell them what was going on. And, you know, basically trying to put their foot forward the best they could. You know, him and Rashad was out there, and Rashad was basically helping him. And so when they got in the car, he was saying, you know, we gonna continue and go ahead to the next spot. And Rashad is like, hell no, give me a minute. He was like, you got me out here freezing my behind on. Turn that heat on and warm up the damn car, whatever. So he was basically laughing, you know, like, you ain't gonna just have me out here in the damn cold. So, you know, nonetheless, they sit down, you know, Dre and Nina with this worker to try to see what their options are and what's going on as far as this situation with Lene goes. You know, of course, at first, Kevin is basically like, you know, can she stay here? And her mother's telling him, you know, be quiet, let the grown folks talk or whatever. And then Dre is kind of right behind him like, well, can't we keep her here? We already got a room set up for her. This is a safe place and all of that kind of stuff. And the lady was like, you would have to go through a lot. It's not impossible, but, it's potential that y'all could end up becoming her foster parents if y'all, I guess, pass everything that y'all need to pass, right? And so she was like, if not, then she definitely would go into the system. She would become ward of the state. And so Lene is like, basically letting them know she ain't going to do that. I guess she would just, try her best to run away or whatever the case may be before they could go ahead and do that. So again, she's not in a good situation at all. And Nina's not looking like she's all on board like, Dre and Kevin are. And so then we have Maisha and Gemma go to, Smokies, and Gemma over here talking about, y'all ain't got no vegan y'all ain't got no vegan macaroni and cheese. I said, girl, vegan macaroni and cheese, this is Smokies barbecue. Damn well they ain't got no vegan. Papa over here knowing what Maisha want without her even having to tell him or whatever. And then, I forgot what Gemma ordered, but Maisha kept going, on the side, really, girl, on the side, that's what you want, and Papa over here talking about, listen, he pro-choice, whatever a woman want, that's what he gonna give. So then, we have Trey, and like I said, I'm sorry, we have Victor, okay, and Rashad in this car. And of course, he's saying not only do he want him to turn the heat on, but he want to smoke too. And Victor's like, hell no, we can't smoke. He was like, then we going to be going knocking on people's doors and we going to be selling like smoke. So Rashad was like, listen, you going to have to make a choice, because you can't have me out here freezing and then don't want to let me smoke too. It's going to have to be one or the other. He was like, why the heck I even have to be out here? And he was like, well, what else do you have going on? I'm saying, that you can't be out here or whatever. So he had a point there. And he was like, well, I got a woman. He was like, yeah, but your woman's at work anyway. And he was like, yeah, she is flying and she do have a good gig and stuff like that. And he was saying how she's making him a better man. And so Trig is over here, Victor, I'm sorry, I got to get used to calling him that, y'all, is over here showing him the picture of him and his fake boo. And he's like, man, y'all really look good. And people eating that up. They getting all these likes. They getting all these comments. But, of course, it's not real or whatever. So he was like, damn, you sure you don't want to mess with her? And he was like, nah, she's not my type. And he was like, well, anyway, you don't need to be worried about that. You need to be worried about your woman. And like I said, he's talking about how she's making him better. She's opening him up to things that he never thought about. And, Victor's like, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I'm surprised you was able to get her too. And he was like, you are looking, a little better. Your dusty behind is a little bit more together. And Rashad was like, really dusty? And he was kind of like, yeah, I said what I said. So I like, the relationship between him and Rashad, and that they're playful and all of that. I like that Rashad, got his little chick now, and he is looking better, okay? She already upgrade him, okay? She already did the upgrade on him. And so I like all of that, but I think Victor is going to have to be careful with bringing him around. I get that he want to have help and he want to keep him busy and all of that kind of stuff, but with him doing this campaign, I think he is going to have to probably be careful, with how much he bring Rashad around. They may not be able to be, involved with each other as much as they may have before, because he needs to be busy on this councilman thing and he can't have nothing bad, turning up. And hopefully with this new girlfriend that Rashad have, she's going to be keeping him more busy. We also seen that Darnell was shopping and looked like he was getting some kind of dress or something. We don't know what he was up to yet. And so then Keisha's basically finally saying that she finished her paper. And Emmett is like, word, you finished it? He was like, everything straight. You ain't got no spelling mistakes or anything like that. And so he basically sits down and he tells her that he's proud of her. And she was like, I'm proud of me too. And I'm like, oh, God, yeah, it's cute, it's cute, it's cute. And telling him thank you and everything like that for helping her out. And then they just looking all into each other's eyes and stuff like that, okay? So I'm like, we see y'all. So, we kind of just had a back and forth between Dre and Nina talking about this whole thing with Lene. And then we're also seeing Kevin and Lene talking and venting to each other while they're laying on the floor. And, Dre is basically saying, like, where's this girl gonna go? What if she ends up in the system and she ends up being abused? She's like, she don't got too much longer till she turn 18. Kev don't got too much longer till he turns 18. They'll both be out of our hair. And then Keisha's already gone. Now, come to find out, Miss Lena's over here talking about, well, she's scared to take that on and have, Lene come in because they don't know. And then she kind of cuts herself off. And, Dre is like, what? You know what I'm saying? What do you don't know? What are you worried about? And essentially what Nina's trying to say is that they don't know about what's going to happen with their marriage. Okay, I guess she's still not sure what's happening, even though they're doing this counseling and all of that kind of stuff ever since the whole cheating situation. So I'm like, So, Kev ends up asking Lene if she wants to go out, and she's like, go out where? And he's telling her how, Papa needs help with these donations. She's like, I really don't feel like handing out no daggone plates. And he was like, come on. He was like, you never know, it might feel make you feel better. It's just one plate. So she says, okay. And in the process of that, they call themselves sneaking out the damn house. And as soon as they sneak out, Dre and Nina's like, well, let's go talk to her and see what, how she feels about all of this. And they're basically gone. So now Nina talking about, I'm going to have to be up worried all night. And she was like, no, you're not. Everything is going to be okay. She was like, yeah, that's the same thing we said about Keisha. So obviously Nina is having a whole lot of other, thoughts that's going on with her. She still kind of probably have her own PTSD from the situation that happened with Keisha, and then she's still unsure of where the relationship is with her and Dre. And so Dre ends up texting Kevin like, where the hell are you? And he tells her how they going to, help with the food. She was like, next time just ask. And of course she had put it in big bold letters, and he was like, okay, no problem, why you yelling? Or you don't have to yell, something like that. And she was like, why do you think I'm yelling? And just come back at a decent time. And he says, okay. So I love how Dre is with the kids. Okay, I really do. She's a great partner, and family person and stuff like that. She really cares, and she does try to do what she can to help. So Jake, fake girlfriend is over here trying to damn introduce him over there at Trinity House before he gonna be coming up to give this speech. And Maisha and Gemma, they seem like they done spent the whole day together, okay? They here listening to this girl perform, and Gemma basically signed Maisha up without her knowing, and they're calling her up on the stage to perform. And then you have Papa, Kevin, and Lene come in too. And Maisha gets up on the stage and kills it, okay? Not that anybody is shocked about it. And Gemma's basically telling her, like, yo, I really think that you should consider doing this, professionally, give it a shot and all of that kind of stuff. And she was like, you're really good at it, and my only criticisms is you have to kind of watch some of the words that you say. And I forgot the other thing she said, but all of a sudden she was trying to be Miss Critique. And so then she goes and she's throwing up in the trash can. So I'm like, what's going on here, Missy? Okay, we pregos? I mean, because even Maisha was like, uh-oh. We said uh-oh at the same time, honey. And so, I was like, So now we had, after Trig gives this speech and answers these questions, because we had this one girl who was a reporter that was asking him, like, you take, you say that you helped to found this place, and, you and Imani or whatever the case may be. And he stood up and was like, yes, absolutely. He was like, I did co-found it. And he was like, she was the beautiful, trans woman that came and helped these girls. Without her, none of this couldn't have got started. And I'ma always give her flowers. So he didn't shy away from anything. He stood up and was like right to it. And he also was saying, like, I'm not no type of politician or whatever the case may be. And his mama was in the back like, oh yeah, not yet. And he was like, that's my mama. And so it seemed like everybody was liking him. Plus they was liking them free plates of food, okay? But as, that ended, he continues the conversation with the girl in the kitchen talking about, oh, I was loving those questions you was giving out. She was like, no, you wasn't. Okay, you was sweating. He was like, I was sweating, huh? She was like, yeah, I wanted to pass you a hand towel. So they was kind of laughing it up and just looking like they feeling each other, and they got a little chemistry going on here. And she was asking him, when did he break up with Imani? He was like, I really don't want to go into all of that, right? Because she sees that he have, this new girlfriend now. I keep forgetting her name. I think it's Tiara, but I'm not sure. Y'all know who I'm talking about. And so as they're talking, Rashad is peeping it. And then the whole girl peeps it too. And she come over there to hurry up and go ahead and get him. And he's like, all right, you know what I'm saying? We could continue this talk another time or whatever. And he tells her like, you know, come on, babe, let's go. And he walks away. But, you know, it's still that little chemistry that was there. And she looking at him as he walking away. So I said, Trig, you about to be in some mess, honey. I already see it. You about to have a whole nother problem. And like I said, Rashad was all the way across the room and he could peep it too. So then we had Darnell come back to Miss you know, Jada house, and when she go and open the door, he got all these bags. He all dressed up in spaz, you know, dressed himself up a little something, something. And she's like, oh my God, what is going on here? What is all of this? And giving him a hug or whatever the case may be. And he's telling her, like, you know, come on, we got, you know, reservations. So I said, okay, Tom, now let's see what you're going to do. Let's see what you're going to bring. Let's see if you can actually, you know, rise to the occasion. You know, we look and we see that daggone Keisha done fell out on the couch. She knocked out sleeping, so Emmett come and bring a blanket for her. You know, he done set up a fort with the kids, because the kids at one point was like, can they watch more TV? And he was like, no, you had enough of that. And then he was saying y'all could go outside, and she was like, no, it's too cold outside, you know. And he was like, well, that's what my parents did with me. And she was like, nah, this is a whole different, you know what I'm saying, generation. So that had me laughing. You know, we also had Rosalind come in, right, and Tracy is basically passing her the volunteer schedule, right? But before she passed it to her, it was like she was giving it to her, and then she was like, you know, in other words, before I give it to you, let me break it down for you. Number one, you know, we have a certain schedule you have to follow Monday, Wednesday at this time and that time, and have to be somebody ready in there. And she's like, number two, bitch, if you mess up my shit, I'm gonna kill you. So I'm like saying, Tracy, you ain't killing no damn body. Who the hell you gonna kill, girl? Who you killing? And so, you know, Rosalind basically turns around and says to her, listen, I know that you're the one that told Ronnie to go kill that kid, and then Ronnie ended up, you know what I'm saying, killing the wrong kid. So she was like, if anything, you trying to take out, you know, blaming stuff on me. She was like, I know what I'm doing, and I could end up bringing this organization a whole bunch of celebrities and people that got big money to spend. So, you know, Tracy was telling her she not worried about money or whatever from celebrities, but essentially she basically told Tracy, honey, you wrong, you mad at the wrong person, okay? You trying to come at me, you mad at yourself for feeling guilty. You didn't bring you know, start this organization because of your son. You started it because of your guilt. I said, and oop, okay. So she put you in your place. You know, Maisha, basically, I don't know where they got the test from, but she took Gemma in the bathroom or whatever the case may be to do this pregnancy test, and she was being really supportive of her. Like I said, I don't know when they friendship, you know what I'm saying, got this way. She was trying to make little jokes or whatever, but Gemma, of course, nerves as bad as hell, and she like, this ain't the time to be joking. And she was asking her, you know, what would you do if it comes out, you know what I'm saying, positive? And she was like, oh my God, this can't be, and all of that kind of stuff, right? I cannot be no daggone pregnant. And so then, you know, they waiting for the timer to go off, and finally it goes off, and Maisha basically bends down and holds her hand or whatever the case may be, you know, like, do you want me to hold your hand while you go ahead and look, honey? And so then when she looks, it's positive, y'all. It's positive. Miss Gemma about to have a daggone baby, honey. I said, what? You know, we have Rashad pull, you know, Victor to the side and ask, and he talked to him for a minute, and he basically was telling him like, yo, I saw you from across the room up on this girl. You cannot be having people see you all up on somebody else when you're claiming to be in a serious relationship with one person. He was like, you know, you don't have to live a lie. You could basically live your truth. He said, you know, you got gay senators and stuff like that now, trans people or whatever the case may be. That's different types of politicians and stuff like that. And so, you know, Victor was basically saying he gonna fake it till he make it, right? He's willing to do anything and everything that he can because he don't want to let nobody down. And Rashad is basically like, I hope you know what the hell you doing. Because at first Victor was trying to say like, oh, it wasn't nothing going on, we was just talking. He was like, nah, I saw y'all, okay, it was some stuff going on. And so then we had, Gemma pacing back and forth, and she's like, oh my God, have you ever been in this position before, to Maisha? Me and Maisha said at the same time, hell no. Okay, then she was asking, what do you think Jake is going to say? And she was like, I think Jake is going to be very supportive. I think he's going to be okay. He seems like a person that would take care of his responsibilities. And she was like, you think so? And Maisha was basically like, yes. Here go Victor, as the girl leaving. He running up to her again, talking about, don't you want to get my number, or I get your number, and we continue this conversation. She's saying she know how to reach him. And then he's saying, he would like to be able to show her around, let her see the real him off the record, okay? And she agrees to it and pass him the phone for him to go ahead and put his number in. I said, Victor, I hope you know what you're doing, okay? Because I see some sparks flying out your eyes. All right, I can already see it ahead of time. We had Darnell and Jada out, right? She said she wanted some red wine, and he said bring her, the whole bottle of the most expensive red wine. And he was like, he want anything that was brown liquor, okay? Because he was asking if they had some other thing. I don't remember what it was, but it was like, hell no, they ain't got that. She give him a kiss. He talking about, now don't try to order no damn dessert. So she was like, yeah, there goes the old Darnell. He was like, no, all I'm trying to say is that, we going to have each other for dessert, right? I want you for dessert. So she was saying that he can make her a Darnell Sunday when they get home. And she was like, boy, don't nobody want, to lick whipped cream off of you. So I guess that's what his Darnell Sunday is. And he was like, why not? She was saying she's not the girl in high school again. And so, then he told her, like, you the most important thing to me, and you write whatever I gotta do to make you happy, and that he loves her. And she was like, oh, Darnell, and they kissed. So I don't know, y'all. That was a good start, but we shall see how long it is actually going to last. That's another question. So we have Emmett and Keisha both knocked out on the couch or whatever. He only woke up because he could hear the damn phone ringing. I don't know how the hell he was sleeping like that though, honey. All right, I would have had to stretch out. So he get on FaceTime. It's Tiffany, and he's like, what? She's like, don't be talking to me, all aggressive, and where's my son? Excuse me. So he was like, he's still asleep. So she was like, well, I would like to talk to him when y'all on y'all way to the, school or whatever the case may be. Let him FaceTime me back. So he like, okay, cool. And she was like, you okay? He was like, yeah. She was like, oh, you seem like you being a little short. He was like, I just woke up. So then they like, all right, and they hang up. So here go Keisha. Oh, why you didn't tell her that I was here? Or did you tell her I was here? He was like, no. He was like, I didn't see no reason to. I didn't think it was her business or whatever the case may be. She talking about some, do you feel guilty? And he was like, no, I didn't know I had a reason to feel guilty. So she looking all funny or whatever. Girl, not even 2 minutes later, Keisha phone ringing, and then they both looking at each other, and Emmett like, and she like, yeah, Keisha, why you don't answer the phone, girl? What's happening? You feeling guilty? Oh, God, that made me laugh so hard. So they just both had the dumb faces. So how long this supposed to go on, right? And then here come Gemma walking out, get in the car with Mr. Jake, and she's like, we gotta talk. And looking forward. So what y'all think about this, y'all? What y'all think about all that happened in this episode? Okay, put it in the comments. Let's talk about it. Are you liking the shot so far? Did you like this episode? What you liked, what you didn't like? Y'all know how we do. Let's put it in there. Let's discuss. All right. Like, comment, share, subscribe if you are so inclined. Till next time, y'all. Toodaloo.